exclusive establishment, but that's how I heard it.
That doesn't sound very likely.
You did ask.
Do you know anything about some passengers that came into town by ship a few days ago?
That's not much to go on.
You're a corporal in the watch. You're supposed to have a keen, insightful mind.
They brought that regulation in after I joined.
The Salachi Family Mausoleum. The Salachi Family Mausoleum was one of the most beautiful buildings I'd ever seen, nestled in an upmarket part of the city of Ankh. It was unguarded because, quite frankly, no one in their right mind would do anything to offend the Salachi family, given it wasn't just something that wasn't done, it was also something that wasn't survived. I tried to find Therma's grave, but it was a waste of time. You'd need to be an expert in heraldry or genealogy to even begin to navigate around it. I'll say this for the nobility. They keep their dead well indexed. The Salachi family mausoleum was full of tombs. More chambers, annexes, vaults, sepulchres, and catacombs than a thesaurus. The central atrium of the mausoleum opened up so that you could see the sky. I guess on some nights it must have been quite a beautiful sight. But this wasn't one of those nights. I like the sky as much as the next man, but it wasn't exactly something I could pick up and put in my pocket. Hello again.
Hello.
You wouldn't happen to know your way around the Salachi family mausoleum by any chance?
Give me a break, Lewton. I don't know everything.
I don't suppose you've investigated the passengers on the Milka, have you?
Of course I have.
Sorry, but you're not the most... diligent of investigators.
I work as hard as any man of my rank.
You're the only man of your rank. There's 3 dwarfs, 2 troll, a woman and a zombie with the same rank as you, but you're the only human male. I know you're human because you carry a bit of paper to prove it, signed by the midwife. The maleness, I'll take that on trust.
Do you want me to help you or not?
What have you got?
Well, I interviewed one of the passengers.
What did you learn?
That's official watch business.
You didn't learn anything, did you?
Not as such, no.
Any chance I could interview this passenger?
I don't see why not. She's down in the Cafe Ankh now.
Well, that's something, I guess.
You can't recall if there is.
I thought I told you never to... Ilsa. I thought I would never see her again. I prayed that I'd never see her again. But either the gods didn't listen, or they were having a laugh at my expense. Knowing the gods of the Discworld, I had a pretty good idea which. Play it again, Sam.
You know what? No one's ever going to believe you said that.
Hello, Ilsa. How long's it been?
Too long.
That's funny. I was thinking that it wasn't long enough.
Aren't you pleased to see me?
Sure, like a jellyfish praying for the tide to come in.
What's that supposed to mean?
If I always knew what I meant, I'd be a genius.
Back then, you always knew what to say.
I still know what to say. I just choose not to.
You're getting a big kick out of making me feel cheap, aren't you? Well, maybe I had it coming.
Hey, don't take my side. You'll take all the fun out of it. I spent years rehearsing what I'd say if I saw you again. What I'd ask you. I tried to imagine what you'd say.
But now I'm here. You can't think of anything to say?
Now you're here, and I just want to slap you. Just once, across the cheek.
What will that prove?
That I still haven't forgiven you.
You're not making this easy, Lewton.
Did you think I would? Did you think I'd just come bouncing up to you like a trained puppy? Maybe I'd wag my tail and wait for you to throw me a stick. Well, I'm never going to be another woman's dog for as long as I live.
That's cruel.
Not as cruel as the day you left me. I suppose you have some explanation for what you did. Some pat excuse that'll make everything all right.
There's no excuse for what I did.
At least we agree on one thing.
Why do you hate me so much?
Because I had everything when I had you. And when you left, you took everything with you. It's easy to hate someone who took it all away from you.
It hurts to hear you talk like this.
Good. What made you ask for that song?
I was feeling sentimental.
It's good to know that you still remember me.
How could I forget?
I don't know. But you managed to leave. I figured you'd probably manage to forget as well.
Never.
I tried to forget you. I tried to forget the day you left. I tried to forget the good times. I tried to drown your memory in cheap whiskey.
And did you forget?
I don't remember.
I still remember you. That's what the song means to me. It's everything that's good about our time together.
You got lucky, Elsa. You got all the good memories, and I got all the bad.
It didn't have to be like that.
It's always like that. So, you came in on the Milka, did you?
Yes.
Alone?
No. I came with a companion.
It figures.
What?
Women like you are never alone.
I've been alone.
You know nothing about loneliness. You know nothing about what it's like to not know why you've been abandoned. You don't know what it's like to watch your career slip away because the one thing you care about has been taken from you. You don't know what it's like to spend years going into restaurants and asking for a table for one.
You don't eat in restaurants.
Okay, but if I did, that's what I'd ask for.
Why did you ask about the Milka?
You came aboard in Ecclepon, right? With a man.
Yes. His name's Two Conkers. How did you know?
It's my job to know.
You're being paid to find out where people board ships?
No, I'm a private investigator. Can you read this?
Yes, it says Pier 5.
What language?
Agatean.
How do you know an obscure language like that?
Actually, Two Conquers is from the counterweight continent. I learnt it from him.
I thought that people weren't allowed to leave the Agatean Empire.
Oh, things have freed up these days.
I'd be careful who you tell about Two Conquers, Ilsa.
Why?
People can be funny about foreigners, and there's always been rumors about the Empire. They say they use powerful magic there. The last time one of them arrived here, the city got burned down.
Two Conquers isn't going to burn the city down.
You know that, and I know that. But the average man on the street doesn't know that. They see the unknown as a threat.
Why? Two Conquers is harmless. No one's that stupid.
Let me let you in on a little-known secret. You know how stupid the average person is?
I think so, yes.
Well, statistically, half of them are even dumber than that. Don't go far. I might want to shout at you again.
I'm sorry, Lewton.
Not sorry enough. Rodan's workshop. At first glance, Rodan looked like a typical sculptor. On closer examination, I decided he was much less. You wouldn't happen to be Rodan, would you?
Ah, I know that one. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Take your time.
Yes. Yes, I think I am Rodan. How can I be sure?
Beats me. I had a note from my mother the day they did philosophy at school.
You must conceive form in depth.
Why?
Do you know, I don't remember.
It figures.
What do you make of this?
I stared at the statue he was working on. Face to face with art, we shuffle our feet and apologize. We say, I don't know much about art, but I know what I like. Well, most people do. I can't even say I know what I like. But that's not the point. The point is that if knowing what you like is good enough for shoes and drinks and women, what's wrong with applying the same rule to art? I guess people don't like to look stupid. Personally, I think art's for guys who couldn't do basic maths.
Do you like it?
Well, I don't know much about art. Sometimes I could be such a coward. So you're a sculptor, then?
Yes. Yes, I'm reasonably sure I am. Something like that, anyway.
Why do I get the feeling that you aren't going to be much good at small talk? Do you know anyone named Therma?
Yeah, where do I know that name from?
It wasn't hard to lose patience with Rodan. Every day probably took him by complete surprise. Do you know a troll named Malachite?
Malachite. Malachite. It sounds familiar.
In your own time.
I think he works for me. Or he did work for me. No, I think he must still work for me. Look, there he is over there.
You're a tough troll to find, Malachite. You could say something. Okay, so I'll do the talking. So how you been keeping, Malachite? Okay, I guess you don't want to talk about that. This where you're staying at the moment? I guess you're not going to talk about that either. Heard any good jokes recently? How many trolls does it take to change a lamp wick? Want me to give you a clue? It'd be really useful